It was a rainy Thursday evening at the Rusty Wheel, a small biker bar just outside of Jacksonville, North Carolina. The kind of place where leather jackets, loud laughter, and the smell of whiskey ruled the air. The neon sign flickered as thunder rolled in the distance. Inside, a woman sat quietly at the bar, plain jeans, a faded gray sweater, her hair tied up in a loose bun. Her hands trembled slightly as she clutched a cup of coffee, not beer. Her name was Emily, and she didn't belong there. She was a stranger among men who spoke in engine roars and battle scars. The regulars noticed her right away. Some looked, some whispered. And among them was Jack Turner, a 6-foot-tall biker with a thick beard, a torn denim vest, and eyes hardened by years of regret. He was the kind of man people didn't cross, a veteran of too many fights, both on the streets and in his soul. When he saw her, he smirked. "You lost, sweetheart." "The St. Starbucks." Emily didn't answer. She just smiled weakly and looked down. Her quietness irritated him. Something about her presence, soft, calm, fragile, stirred something uncomfortable inside him. Jack got up from his chair, heavy boots thudding on the wooden floor. The other bikers went silent, sensing trouble. He walked over and leaned against the counter beside her. "I asked you a question," he growled. "You lost." "No," she said softly. "I'm just waiting." "For who?" She hesitated. "Someone who's not coming back." The answer was cryptic, but it hit something deep, even in him. Still, his pride wouldn't let him stop. He reached for her sweater. "You sure you're not lost?" "Maybe I should check for an ID." In one swift, careless motion, Jack tugged at her sweater, and the fabric tore from the shoulder down. The sound echoed in the bar, a sharp rip that froze every conversation. But what came next silenced even the music. Underneath the torn sweater was a tattoo, a black and gray eagle clutching the globe and anchor of the United States Marine Corps, with the letters Semper Fi proudly beneath. Jack's hand froze mid-air. His smirk faded. Every Marine in that room, and there were many, went completely still. Emily didn't cover herself right away. She just looked at the tattoo herself, like it was a memory she was both proud of and haunted by. Then, softly, she said, "2nd Battalion. Fallujah 2005." The bartender, a bald man with a faded sleeve tattoo, whispered, "No way." Jack stepped back, his eyes wide. You served." She nodded once. "My husband did. And so did I." A hush fell over the bar. Someone turned off the jukebox. Emily continued, her voice trembling. "We were both deployed together. He didn't make it home. I did barely. I came here tonight, because this was his bar. He used to sit right there." She pointed at the corner booth, "and talk about how this was his second family." Her eyes glistened, but she smiled through the pain. "I just wanted to sit in his chair one more time, before I move away tomorrow." The room was dead silent. Jack looked down, shame flooding his face. The woman he'd mocked wasn't some lost stranger. She was a Marine widow, carrying the same scars they all did, just hidden under softer skin. Finally, Jack took off his leather vest. Underneath, on his arm, was the same tattoo, USMC, 2nd Battalion. His voice broke as he whispered, "I was in Fallujah too." Emily looked up at him, and for a moment, time stopped. Two souls broken by the same war, one who lost her love, and one who lost himself. Jack swallowed hard, eyes wet. I'm sorry. I didn't know." Emily smiled faintly. "No one ever does." Without another word, Jack gently took off his bandana, and offered it to her, not to cover the torn sweater, but as a sign of respect. He turned to the bartender and said quietly, "Her tab's on me. And pour her husband's drink too." The bartender nodded, tears glistening in his eyes. "A double whiskey." "Neat." She smiled. "That's the one." Jack raised his glass. "To Sergeant Tom Reeves. Semper Fi." The entire bar stood in silence, glasses raised high. "Semper Fi," they roared in unison, voices trembling with pride. Emily's eyes welled up as she whispered, "Thank you." And in that moment, in that rough, noisy biker bar, the loudest sound was silence, filled with respect, pain, and brotherhood. As she stood to leave, Jack stopped her once more. "Hey, Emily, if you ever need family, you got one here. Always." She smiled softly. "So do you, Jack." She walked out into the rain, her torn sweater clinging to her shoulders, but this time, it didn't look broken. It looked like a flak. Inside, the jukebox started again, playing Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Jack sat quietly, staring at his glass, thinking about the people who never came home, and the ones still carrying their stories. He didn't see it then, but Emily had left something on the counter, her dog tags, tied with a note that read, "For the ones who still fight their battles in silence." Jack clenched the tags in his hand and whispered, "Semper Fi, brother." The rain outside turned into a gentle drizzle, and for the first time in years, Jack smiled. He realized kindness can come from the most unexpected places, even from the people we hurt, because sometimes it takes one small act of compassion to bring a